You Rise, I Fall is the 11th movement of the Sacred Veil, but it's actually the second movement that Tony and I wrote. After we had finished The Veil Opens, we didn't really know how to begin to tell this story, to tell Julie's story of her entire struggle with cancer, but also Tony's struggle. And I asked Tony in that moment, I said, let's begin at the most difficult part of the story. Let's start with the moment of Julie's death. And Tony wrote just the most delicate, exquisite words. I gave him a very strict metrical structure. I even played him a little musical motive, and he fit those words to that musical motive. And that musical motive is quoting from the first movement, the music that says, "Silent either in or out of this, our fragile, fleeting world," which I thought perfectly mirrored what we're about to go through here. And the idea was very simple, that in this moment of Julie surrendering and finally letting go and ending the suffering and lifting, that as you rise, that's the moment that Tony descends into darkness, truly descends into darkness. I find in general that dissonance that happens between those who are moving into this other world and then those who are left behind, it's the core of the entire struggle of the Sacred Veil, I find. And so Tony wrote these delicate words about the last moments, and I think some of the most honest poetry I've ever heard. That he didn't varnish it, he didn't adorn it, didn't dress it up, didn't try to dazzle. He simply said what happened. And I think that's where the power is. Musically, I knew that I wanted to go from the first bits with what he was saying, and then this idea of you rise, that it sounded like healing. I wanted to write music that sounded like medicine. You could just feel it in your body like a warm bath. And then on the third iteration each time of you rise, that's where there's this turn and the world darkens, and then that moment I fall, and then it's as if it's melting in on itself. And sometimes a chord locks in and just keeps melting and melting and falling. And even the final chord of the piece, if you listen very closely, isn't truly resolved. It's a major chord with this added fourth in it, so that just still, that wound is open and won't ever really close. This is the 11th movement of the Sacred Veil, You Rise, I Fall.